First of all, Jason, thanks so much for joining us. I'm curious what it's like to be you right now. New contract, new team, new coach. You're playing great. How's life for Jason Robertson right now?
Well, it's a bit of a whirlwind. I've only been with the team for like 10 days. No, maybe 2 weeks now. Yeah. So it's everything kind of happening real quick. Now you're playing games, and not just that. I'm in Toronto, and it's kind of weird. It's my first NHL game about almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So that's kind of exciting. And it's our only second road game, and we're already in Toronto, and I know a lot of people around here, and they're going to come see it. So it's a little bit different, and it's exciting right now. Especially we've won the past 3 games, right? We started off strong, so it's definitely a lot of positives. So it's great to start the season on a good note.
You mentioned as we record this, you've only played the 3 games, the 2 games against Nashville, and then the game Monday against Winnipeg. But you guys look really good, and it looks like, I don't want to say you're playing looser, but it looks like you're playing more free, up-tempo. I'm just trying to figure out a way to describe how you're playing under Peter Deboer versus Rick Bowness. It looks like a way to play that's more fun for players. Is that accurate?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Had a lot of fun playing last year, right?
41 goals.
You did all right.
No, I know. But,
Jeff is trying to go with the let's question 2. Robertson carves bonus. That's what he's trying.
No, I would never do that.
I'm not going for that.
I had a lot of fun last year. I think we gained that respect from our coach last year. Our line, kind of not really, separate ourselves from doing what other lines are doing, but we kind of, branched out and did some more creative things. But as far as this year, I think when Pete came in and what he wanted to do was just create a faster team. And I'm not saying, speed, like being faster up the ice or quicker in terms of physical strengths, but as a team, just thinking faster, just players get in the spots as quick as they can and move the puck up quickly. And so far, we played got a lot more transition in, and guys are enjoying it.
Every coach has rules. I remember when one of the things Ovechkin talked about when Boudreau was there was it became pretty clear that Boudreau had some different rules offensively for Ovechkin and his line mates than anyone else. Did Bowness at all last year say, okay, your line, you can do some things differently because you're going well?
I don't recall a moment when Bones came up and told us that. It was kind of something that, we knew last year we need to win. We need to create offense. We were struggling offensively as a team. So as a line, we just, try to be creative. And especially, you don't really see often one line staying together every game the whole season. So, we played together for 70. I played 74 and Root might have missed a game. So 72 games of the year. That's, from what I've heard from players, it's doesn't happen often, right? So it's kind of an unheard of. So, we just had that sort of chemistry, and Bones just, kind of, I'm sure, obviously he saw the results, so he wasn't going to get in the way. And, but that's just having the chemistry with the certain, line mates and building that. And, it worked well for us.
Now, so this year, just in terms of Deboer and rules that he has, as opposed to the rules that Rick had, either on or off the ice, what's different?
I think everyone's trying to play the same, play faster. That's really it. Move the puck up, control the puck at the blue lines. You want to be a good forechecking team. I think that's what we always want to be, but if we can make a play on the blue line, I think that's something that is kind of more promoted this year throughout all 4 lines. And, you can notice if you look back on the video these past couple games that more guys are starting to do that and trusting in their skills. And I'm sure that this gives them more confidence to go out there and make plays and, go play hockey.
Why does this line work? I'm always curious because we know you got, going back to when we all saw you in junior hockey, a ridiculous shot. The Joe Pavelski story has been well told, maybe the best tipper in the entire NHL. He's got the hand-eye coordination like few others, and Rupe Hintz is an emerging star. Why does this line work?
Well, there's been answering that question for a while, but if some from a different perspective, nobody really thinks about that. And I like to say we're one of the better Lions at breaking the puck out of the D zone. Pav's very intelligent. He gets the puck on the wall. He can make a play, break out the puck quicker. Roop can get a speed up the ice. We can get speed up the ice. Alternatively, I like to break pucks out easy, cleaner, instead of just dumping it and going after and get it. So I think it all starts in the D zone, because other than offensive draws and changing, a lot of it starts in the D zone and building that speed up the ice. So that starts there, and Pav's one of the best at help breaking that puck out. And then we get going north, and then the neutral zone. We have 3 skilled players on the ice, just making plays. And like I said, 70 plus games last year. This is the chemistry and just knowing where everyone's going to be. It just, it's hard to defend that.
And holding on to it at the blue line more?
Yeah.
Like on the entry?
Yeah, no, I think we did that a good amount last year as a line. But like I said, our team's really starting to put an emphasis in that. And for me, really, I think I can have more ozone entries by myself, really do that. But yeah, you just get more creative off the rush, create more offense off the rush.
All right, Jason, I'm going to allow you to put a player here on the referee's radar. When you've got a head of steam, who is the biggest cheater at holding you up illegally so that you can't get as free as you want to be? Who's the best at it?
In the NHL?
Yeah.
Like anywhere? I don't really think about going up the ice, but I actually, if you want to get like real specific, I think the biggest one is off draws and the offensive zone. When you win the puck back and then you interfere with the guy so he can't go.
Yeah.
So casual picks?
It is casual pick. It's, never gets called. It's hard to get called.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a big pick.
Babcock's Red Wings were the masters. I know exactly what you mean. That Red Wings team, they were the masters of that.
They just, like, you will lose a draw, and especially on the power play, you're lined up on the wall or inside, and more so on the wall because you're lined up against a big D.
Yeah.
And what they're running is either strong or low bump, where all the guy has to do on the wall is pick him. Just push him, make sure the other D gets the puck and rims it. That's the hardest thing. And
so who's the guy who does it best on you?
I don't know about best, and this wasn't last year, but I remember playing Detroit my first year, COVID year, and I remember Mark Stahl was I just couldn't get around him. Him or Chernak. I just couldn't. I just couldn't get around him. I was 20. I was 21. I was trying so hard to get. I just couldn't. Just so big, and was interference. I don't know, but
it was interference.
Yeah, I will say it is, but it never was called. So, but that was definitely when I was my rookie year, I was like, oh my god, like I got to learn how to get around these guys. And obviously, I mean, now I'm going to my 3rd year. You learn how to kind of cheat it, and try to fake inside go around or cheat so hard inside to do that. So there were ways to combat it, but when I was first year in the league, I didn't know any better. Just try to put my head down and fight for body position. But that was definitely kind of an eye opener. See how hard it is.
All right, this has been too serious so far. So here we go. What is the deal with Jason Robertson and Brussels sprouts?
Oh, jeez.
Brussels sprouts.
I hear you have a hatred for Brussels sprouts.
That's Tom Holy right there. Yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Yeah, no, that was
rival now with San Jose.
Yeah, big shot now. No, he doesn't run his football pool anymore. He couldn't. Yeah, it's too big. But yeah, no, I don't know if I said last year or it might have been the year before, but we always had the meals after the game at home. We get it catered, and it's in the to-go box now. And I think it was last year. I think I still did it last year, where the guys tell me, like, I'm filling out the forms or whatever, and the guys tell me, oh, there's a vegetable and meat and side or starch or whatever, and filling out, and the guys, I see Brussels sprouts, and I'm like, I can't eat Brussels sprouts, or I don't enjoy it. I mean, the guy is they fell out. And on the Brussels sprouts, it says like steamed or whatever their special version of the Brussels sprouts are. And, the guys tell me that, okay, I guess it's good. And, I tried it once, the special way or whatever it was, tried it once. I had it. I couldn't eat it. And the problem was I never got it switched. So I always got the meal with Brussels sprouts, every meal, and I just wouldn't eat it. So
They're haunting you.
No, it's got to be the big. That and kale. Kale Brussels sprouts are the biggest.
Really?
I like kale. Kale chips. No, you don't like them?
No, actually, well, this leads into another story. It's a funny story, actually. So when I was 15, I was playing in it was the GTHL.
Don Mills, right?
Don Mills,
Yeah.
GTHL finals or whatever. And we were playing the Marlies. And there was like a 2-week break. Gosh, I don't know what it's called. Maybe it's like the Canada Olympics for like 15 or U14. They play.
Yep. Oh, the Winter Games.
Winter Games.
Yes.
They do it every 4 years.
Yes, the Winter Games.
Okay, so that was my year.
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't go. I was American, but the Canadian. So there was a 2-week break in between the finals, so which is weird. But I remember, I think it was best of 8 because we won the distance, game 8. But it was game 3, and I remember I broke my like 5th metatarsal or metacarpal, whatever one's in your pinky. And then the 2-week break came, so what I ended up doing is going home, and seeing everything, and trying to get ready to play again. And I remember seeing the hand doctor in Detroit. He might be, I think he's with the Wings. He might be the Wings, he might not be. And the guy's like, yeah, you might have to wear whatever you call it,
soft cast,
hard cast, just hard shell cast.
Yeah, okay.
And what you got to do is you got to, try to eat a lot of vitamins. I think kale has vitamin, I don't know, whatever vitamins in kale.
It's got a lot of iron.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is. I don't want to say it and be wrong. So whatever vitamins in kale, and it's like you eat a lot of it. So what I'm doing is like eating a little bit, just putting in a blender, just with water, just drinking kale all the time to try to like speed up the recovery or whatever was in my finger, and I couldn't have any more. It was so much kale all the time. It was so bitter. And
It's your body thanked you.
yeah, no, I did. I ended up coming back, and I didn't miss a game, so I came back
Yeah.
and played. But since then, I can't do kale. I go to the restaurants and they have kale Caesar salads, and I can't eat it. It's just so bitter. It's
Just
so
memories
gross.
of that 2-week gap
It was just horrible.
between playing
It was-
Don Mills and the Marlies.
No, that was the worst. So kale is definitely up there. It's the ones I just can't eat.
Okay, so while we're going back to that era of Jason Robertson, I was told today that your family had a legendary RV that you would drive around in from tournament to tournament, team to team. What can you tell us about the Robertson hockey RV?
Yeah, well, that was like 12 years ago when we were in LA. We had one to travel, from one house to one rink in LA. It's kind of like here, the traffic's brutal.
Yep.
It took us an hour to get from the airport to here today.
Welcome to Toronto.
Yeah. No, well, my brother knows.
Mhm.
I lived here for a little bit. But yeah, so we had that and commuted back and forth doing homework in there, and dress and drive, getting dressed there because we'd be late. You'd have to get dressed and having dinner, waiting, rotating kids in and out. So one kid does practice.
This was all in the RV, like
yeah, this was
air and out equipment, dinners, all of it on the go.
that was pretty much what we did for practices because we'd get there at 4:00, leave at 8 or 9, and I'll tell you what the best thing was when it's kind of like, it was really nice of my parents, is when we'd have like a 6 or 7 a.m. flight or game or practice. I think maybe 8 o'clock games, and we'd leave early. And
Were they park in the parking lot?
no, we wouldn't do that.
Did you do that? Were you that savage?
No. They would set up the bed in the RV. So when you're driving, the bed's set up.
Yep.
Because it's not the bed you think of, because the RV was old. It was a couch that folded into bed.
Okay, yeah.
So there was no bedroom. It was just that, and they'd set that up for us, and get the blankets. We're sleeping, go to the rink at like 8 in the morning, and that was in our poor mom and dad are just driving. We're back there sleeping. I'm getting ready for the game, but that was definitely a good moment. But they have a new RV now, really. Yeah.
Tell us about the new RV.
Yeah, so they
less
got,
smelly equipment in it, I'm guessing.
no equipment in there, obviously.
Yep.
But no, they got rid of the one RV about 12 years ago. They bought a new one last year, and they've been touring all over.
That's awesome.
The United
That's
States.
awesome.
Yeah, so they haven't yet this year because they've had dogs. But when the dogs are ready, they'll be taking the RV from Los Angeles to Dallas. They'd go from Dallas to Detroit. And this is a 42-footer, so it's a significant upgrade over the small one we had earlier. So, and that one has a bedroom, TVs everywhere, captain's chairs. That one's like
Sweet.
decked out. Yeah, so that's.
So they follow the stars?
No, they don't fall. They go to like some games. When we were during the COVID year, they bring it to Florida, Tampa, Dallas. It's a little harder now because they have dogs and everything.
Yep.
But when they were doing that, we took the RV from Dallas to Las Vegas after the season one year.
Nice.
And then drove that home, so that they still have it, and they're a full on. It looks like a truck, so they're full on truckers now. My dad had that one beard, the long beard, so he was.
No way.
Yeah, so when they'd go to like truck stops because you need to fill up,
Sure.
all the truckers be there, see my dad, and they see the RV, and they give him the head wave and everything. So, no, they have the big one now, and they're still traveling.
awesome.
So they enjoy it. So,
Do you ever drive it?
no, when we drove it to Las Vegas, it was too big. It's 42 feet long. My dad does the majority. My mom might do the long stretches, but I wasn't comfortable doing it. I don't think I could handle it. It's too big. There's too many buttons everywhere and whatnot. So you might need to take a class on that. Seriously.
So I mean I think that would be really cool to drive. Like my family's I don't know if it would be a 42-footer, but my family's talked about doing that just across Canada, and I'm really excited to do it. I don't know if a 42-footer's in my future, but I really want to try something like that.
Yeah, well, I don't think they can do it. They can't come to Canada. It's too cold here. And to the snow, they couldn't deal with the snow. But no, they've driven from Florida to Los Angeles. So they've done a lot.
Wow.
They've driven Los Angeles to Detroit. It took them 5 days. So they put a lot of miles on that car. So on that RV. So it's they enjoy it. So they kind of find their something they enjoy together. My mom and dad just drive with their dogs, and they'll pull aside and for the night, put the TV up, watch our games. They got the satellite going, the streaming, everything, and watch the games, enjoy it. Get up and keep moving. So.
Did they? I'm curious here whether it was you in Kingston. I guess you finished in Niagara, or Nick in Peterborough. They follow you around junior hockey cities too?
I think
behind your bus.
No, I don't think they did them. I think my dad made it to every junior rink except like 3 or 4. So he's been around. I mean, Michigan's easy because we lived in Detroit. Never went out to Ottawa, it's too far. And K-Town.
Not that far from Kingston, though.
No, but
Not
it's 2 hours the other way, farther.
Yeah.
So it's like you go there for one game as opposed to, you go to Hamilton. It's right around here. So, but, they watched us playing because I was Kingston, Nick was in Peterborough, and we do back-to-back home and homes. Yep. So they got to do that and then, choose whoever the third game is because normally it's a 3-3.
Whichever kid's hot.
Yeah, well, no. Then they'd come watch me, right? So no, but they followed us a lot in junior. It was a lot easier than now because you got to fly from country to country now. But yeah, definitely.
If the Robertsons are at home and there's a Dallas game on and there's a Toronto game on and Nick is up, which game gets preference on television?
Well, no, we had that one. We have one big TV in Los Angeles, and my mom and dad bought a small TV. And I think now because when Nick plays, I think he gets the bigger TV because it starts earlier, right? Because he's on the East Coast, So I think that's what happened. But I mean, if they start at the same time, I think my dad would put me up there because I mean,
You should see the smile on your face right now.
No,
as you're
I
saying
mean,
That is
that.
awesome.
I don't want to say it, but there's more. You're gonna see more minutes, right? No, I mean, it's just not by much, but I mean, and hopefully Nick gets to that point where it's a lot harder, but and he probably will. So,
Yep.
But for right now, it's probably that.
Let me pick up on that. I would imagine that your parents would have thought about this. I wonder if you would as well. I mean, you're both playing in the NHL at the same time. The idea of you guys one day playing together, like everyone's got, every player's got, okay, I want to check this box, things that I've done, the first goal, the first game, the first whatever, and you get a list of things you want to accomplish. At what point does playing with my brother in the NHL, sort of fit on your hierarchy of things that I want to do?
It's actually never really come about. It's
You never thought about it?
no, not really. It's a business, right? It's everything has to align right. You don't really get to, most players don't really get to choose where they want to play, and when they're young, especially.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, when I was in junior, I thought, because he could have got drafted to Kingston, and Kingston, I don't think Kingston picked him, but he went to Peter Deboer. But I think that, it'd be pretty neat, definitely. I never really thought about it. But
So you'd rather play against him than with him?
yeah, I play against, with would be cool too, but it's just, you never think about it being a possibility. You don't really see that many brothers in the NHL, playing together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only one I can think of on the top of my head was the Sedins, and they got drafted 1-2 or 2-1.
2-3, yeah.
2-3, yeah, 2-3.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. So it doesn't happen often.
Yep.
But if we did, I think that would be pretty neat. I'd just be feeding him and finding him. But
No, he's finding
No.
you.
I don't know. He's got a rocket. He's
He
got
can shoot.
he's got a rocket. I don't know. Does he? I think he has a harder shot. He might. Yeah.
Hey, what's with the Robertson boys in the shot?
Yeah. I don't know. I think all the reps growing up, all
That's
the
what it
shooting.
is?
Yeah. All the shooting in our house, in our basement.
Was it a shooting pad in the backyard? What was it for you?
It was in the basement. It was we set up a tarp in the basement, and it was, when we bought the house, it was a room that the previous owner would put his own car, store car in there. So it was not cement floor, but hard. I don't even know what it was, but it was a hard floor, and you could shoot pucks straight off of that, and drywall, and some glass facing into it, so you could look into it. And
Yeah.
I remember ripping up all the drywall, just doing stupid stuff, putting holes in the wall,
Sure.
golf balls, lacrosse ball, everything into there, and all those reps, really.
Did you were you kids that would also do the Yager wrist curls with the stick and the weight on the string to strengthen the wrists?
No, I never really did that. I think more so hockey, stick handling, just handling
handles,
for a long
yeah.
time, one-handed stuff, all that stuff, and so many reps, so many hours that we did growing up.
Let me throw a dart here, because I wonder about that with the one hand and the one hand shooting. Did you ever see the Alex Kovalev video?
Yeah.
Were you one of the guys that had that? Because that was pretty rare. When that came out, everyone was like, "Wow, now it's all over the place and Instagram and everything." But
Yeah.
when that DVD came out, guys were like, "Whoa, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah, I mean, one-handed stuff's cool. I mean, you don't really see it often, ever in a game.
No, but then there's Kovalev just snap it in the corner.
I was
one
actually
hand.
doing it today, and me and Dennis Guriano were doing that in practice today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were trying it out. It's actually a strange coincidence because we were just doing it today, and we never did before. And he told me, "Oh, Robo, can you lift the puck up with one hand?" And we were comparing, and he couldn't get it up a couple feet.
Okay, but you could do it.
Maybe 3 feet. So
It's not bad.
no, it's definitely hard. You need that wrist strength, and but no, it's pretty impressive. Maybe Denny saw Kovalev do that. I don't know.
The legendary Kovalev video.
So I wanted to ask you, Jason, just, what you went through in the off season, working on a new contract. And I remember one player telling me, he said, he was about the same age you were. You're 23 now. And he just said, he says, you prepare your whole life to play hockey and the business part comes in. He says, you don't realize everything that you go through. He said to me, until you go through it, you don't understand what it's like to be discussed on social media, what it's like to want to play but know you have to do the business side, how much advice you get from all sorts of different people. What was the hardest thing for you of the last few weeks and months?
I'd say, I wouldn't say waiting, but just getting to the point where, like it could bleed in the season, really. If it could get long enough, you don't want to miss games.
Yep.
And I think just get behind the 8 ball here. If you miss games, it's going to be tough, to come back in. I know a guy one of the guys who did it last year, signed at the beginning of the year and then had to miss, a week or whatever to start playing. And then it starts, could tumble into the season, but, at the end of the day, you had to understand that that's a possibility. And, when I'm playing now, it's like, I wanted to be here. I don't even know what I was thinking, but, at the time it's like, it is a business, and I had a lot of help going into it. So, a lot of people helped me along the way.
What was some of the best advice you got, and from who?
Yeah, well, no, Pat told me.
Pat Brisson.
Yeah. Pat told me, Jay, this could be, a thing that goes into camp. He's had some clients who's had that.
Yeah.
But he told me this in like May. So.
And you were like, no way. Like,
yeah. Well, at the time, it's like, yeah, but I don't think like we're talking. This is May. That's like 3 months ahead, right? You're like thinking really 3 months. And but it did. So, but told me to stay ready. It kind of hits you when I skated all summer with 2 other players, my brother being one of them, and a guy Jalen Chatfield. He's on the Carolina right now.
Yeah, Jalen Chatfield. For
so
sure. Yeah,
we were the only 2 skating. We had 2 goalies, couple college goalies, and when they left, the goalies left early for college. And then Chatty left maybe the first week of September. And then Nick left like the second week of September. That's when it's like, okay, by myself now. Like, what am I going to do? How am I going to stay ready? It's hard to do drills. You can't emulate, game drills by yourself. You can barely do it with 3 guys, But that was kind of difficult, trying to stay, mentally ready. And once... I got the opportunity to skate with the program. That kind of, gave me a little bit of, okay, I got to get back into battling drills, haven't been in D zone in 3 months, right? You're serious. You don't train to be in the D zone, right?
That's right.
Most guys train skill stuff and, shooting and making plays, but you don't train, especially as a winger, you don't train, battling drills by yourself. You need other guys, you need other people to be out there with you. So that was definitely the hardest training by myself, but I had my skills coach still with me and, still doing all the work. And I appreciate it. Tom Unito did all the things with me. He still showed up at the rink every day, trying to get some all of our ice in. So it was definitely good, but that was definitely hard being by myself.
Did you ever have a point where you said, let's end this? And someone said to you, Jason, you cannot do that. Like, because that I had one player who told me, he once told his agent, I can't do this anymore. Like, just get me in there. And the agent said, trust me. Like, did that ever happen?
No, not really. My dad was a big influence into it.
Yes, I understand your dad.
Yeah,
yes,
so
yeah. He's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, he's an attorney. He does a lot of different things. It's kind of in his business. He does a lot of work for clients he's worked with agents before. He's worked with owners of movies and stuff. He's like, so he's done it before and he knows how this stuff works. It's hockey, but it's a business at the end.
Yes.
So it's similar. But he always told me stay patient. Always stay consistent in what you want. And at the end of the day, if with a week left, we thought it was the best case scenario to get it done and make the season opening game.
So where will you have to buy dinner now on the road? I'm sure Ben and Sagan and Pavelski have told you your celebratory dinner will be here. Where is it?
Well, it's kind of weird because I'm not the only restricted free agent on our team who signed this year.
That's
signed
right,
thing.
Jake.
So,
Yes.
I was thinking we'll see what Jake does first. He was there first. We'll see what he does. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely take out the crew from last year to dinner, maybe an East Side Mario's or Swiss Chalet. I don't know. We'll see. We're in Canada, so
What I'm curious as well. Like, I would imagine some of the older players, whether it's Ben or Suter, would have sort of called you during this and said, like, where are you at? Are we close? Like, we got a real good team here. Like, what are those conversations like with some of the veterans on the team?
yeah, no, they. I think all of them called me or gave me a text.
Yeah.
They understood the situation. Jamie Benn did it. Jamie Benn missed 5 games this season.
Yep.
9 years ago. So he had a similar situation, except it went further in. So,
Yeah.
but no, they definitely they call me and want to know how it's going and. But they're team players, they're veterans, they're kind of like, team, player first, take care of yourself, make sure you get, what you deserve. So they're just great, great people. And, they understand it's a business for both sides, but, they definitely, wanted what's best for me. And then, for the team, obviously they knew it was going to get done.
What was the moment where, and maybe it was Pat Brisson, maybe it was your dad, you heard it's done?
What was the moment? Yeah. It was kind of, it happened really fast. We were playing, they were playing in Colorado that night. It was probably, 11 o'clock at night, our time. We were in Detroit and they were in Colorado. So it was they were 2 hours in front of us, so it was only 9, and we were 11 o'clock, and they finally settled on. We finally settled on something, and they're like, we thinking it's 11 o'clock our time, like, okay, we'll get all this stuff done tomorrow, but they're like, no, we want to get this done now. Like, we're really anxious, we really want to get this done, and then my dad and I ended up, staying up for the next hour, 2 hours, finally finalizing everything, and once it was done, it was also 1, so it was hard to get really energetic. I still had to get up and skate the next day, but it was definitely a relief. I think coming back and not only that, not having to deal with it for having 3 or 4 years left, 4 years for it. So a lot of it is a lot of relief, and happy to be back.
And the final couple for me here. Number 1, so Austin Matthews scored 60 last year, 60 plus. And Morgan Riley tells Colby Armstrong he can score 70, and Matthews rolls his eyes at just the idea. You scored 40. Do you say, now I'm going to get to 50?
I don't know. All I want to do is bury more chances, just score more goals. I think create more chances too. That's what I want to do. You create more scoring chances, it's obviously going to have a better, chance to score goals. Maybe get a couple empty netters. No, I don't know. It's something that I'm not really.
Did you practice that in the off season, by the way, working on those empty netters?
It's something you do have to practice. Because, if I could get another story where at the midway of the year, Joe Pavelski is burying him from the blue line, and I asked Pav, you practice this? Is this dead center and pressure all around you? But no, in terms of scoring, 50, it's not really one of the things I'm looking forward to. I already had a good year last year. I'm not in a contract year anymore. So, what I'm looking forward to do is keep performing at the top level, continue what we're doing right now, and help the team win offensively. And I think we're going to all take a big stride in a lot of good ways. So it's very exciting if you're a Dallas Stars fan and a player. So,
and just a final one from me. You said last year when we interviewed you that Ben Bishop was the worst fantasy football GM in the Dallas Stars. Now that he is a Buffalo Sabre, who is the worst fantasy football GM in the Dallas Stars?
Yeah, so I'm not in the group this year, but I have heard some rumors from the league. Heard that Jake Ottinger has everyone available for trade. I think he's on the bottom, willing to blow his team up.
Goalies, man.
Jake's one of the guys who are like, when the team's really bad, he's like, okay, I'll give my player A for $100 or something like that. He'll start selling his players. So I think he's struggling right now, but it's a long season. We'll see what happens. I think he was last year. So
it's like he's last year and he's last this year again. That's almost impossible because you get the chance at the best players, right?
No, I mean, it's just consistent. Maybe some people aren't built for fantasy football, and that's okay. You can be a good golfer, you could be one of the best goalies in the NHL, but when it comes to fantasy football and managing a team, it's just not his thing. And I sit behind him on the card table on the plane, so I get a good view of it. I could tell you he plays very inconsistent. He's not that consistent when it comes to his play, but yeah, I sometimes try to help him on the plane. I give him some pointers, but really just watching out of pure entertainment to see what he does.
I have to say this, I play a lot of cards with buddies, and my big fault as a card player is that I don't want to fold. Like when I play, I want to play, and it's cost me before because I like to chase. But I have one friend, and he's a kind of a wild player. And there's a guy who sits next to him, and I always know when it's a disaster because the guy sitting next to him is like looking on his face like, what is this guy doing? So do you think any Dallas Stars players are taking Ottinger's money because they see the look on your face and say, he's got a terrible hand and Robertson can't believe it?
No, I mean, I respect the game too much to do that. I couldn't do that. But sometimes if they did look at me, throw a curveball, but I don't think they really look at me because they know, who knows? Jake's inconsistent. Will he listen to me or not? So, no, he's just inconsistent. I wouldn't say he's bad. He's just inconsistent. So, but I mean,
I like how you tried to give him a soft landing.
Yeah.
No,
I really admire that.
No, I'm serious. He's a good player. Sometimes you don't know what he's doing, but I'll tell you what, it's a long hockey season. There's a lot of hours on the plane in Dallas, especially. It's kind of far from some places, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if he improves.
This has been great. Thanks for spending a lot of time with us today. We really appreciate it. Good luck this season.
Yeah, thank you.
Go 50.